Annyeong! Welcome to L Sessions! If you are now feeling confident working with simple formulas, it will only help us with quite simple calculations. So in this video, we're now going to look at how to work with a different kind of calculation called the function. We're still working with our Superstore shipping data, but we're going to come down to the bottom of the screen and click on the sales 2018. We are asked to summarize the sales from the different regions. Our first task is to get the total sales of the last 4 quarters for each of our regions. The function that does the add operation for us is called the sum function. And this function will be exactly the same thing as this formula. You will notice they look quite different. For one thing, there are no pluses or operators in the function. It is the word sum that tells Excel what we want to do. Another difference is the brackets. The brackets and the function are not optional. Wherever you have a function name, you must have an open bracket, and wherever you have an open bracket, you must have a closed bracket. Another difference you'll notice is the colon. Formulas don't contain colons, but functions very often do. The colon is a range operator. It means work with all the values from B7 up to and including E7. Let's have a look at how the function might work. So we're going to once again click on the cell where we want the answer to go. I could type the function as you saw previously, but there's an even quicker way. We're going to come up in our home tab of our ribbon. Come to the far right and click the AutoSum. Excel is so smart. How did it know that I wanted to add up? Well, the truth is it didn't. Excel follows a simple set of rules. The rules for AutoSum go like this. Look up if there are at least 2 numbers above. Add all the numbers until you hit text or a blank cell. If there are no numbers, go left. Add all the numbers to the left until you hit text or a blank cell. Fortunately, there were some numbers to the left and it worked beautifully. Let's try that again. So I'm going to click AutoSum again. And it's done what it needs to. Click enter again. Press AutoSum. This time, it looked up first, found 2 values and added them up. Don't worry if Excel doesn't get the right values. Just go and explain to it that actually you want these ones. Problem solved and click enter. Now actually, we didn't have to do each of those. Just like with formulas, you can use your fill handle to copy functions. So I'm going to click here and then drag the fill handle. Now, for those people who like a shortcut, I now want to add up all of the totals in the bottom row. Instead of just clicking one cell, I'm going to click in B11 and drag across F11. And then, I'm going to come up to my AutoSum and click. See, that was quick. So let's move to the next. We have decided we can add real value by including an average for each region. as well as their highest and lowest quarter. Only small problem is we are not sure how to calculate an average. Fortunately, Excel can help us with this. Start by clicking on the cell where you want the answer to go. Then, come up to the formula bar and go to the left until you get to see the small fx, which is called the insert function. Click on the fx and it brings up the insert function dialog, which asks you what type of operation you want to perform. Now, we want to get an average. So type it in average and click go. Excel has returned all the functions that it feels might help you, and right at the top is the average. So click OK. Just like the sum, Excel tried to get an average of all the values to the left, which is not correct. We don't want to include our total, so we're going to replace that selection with our 4 quarters by just selecting them. You will notice we could also add additional sets of values, and we even get a preview of what the answer is going to be. So we click OK. So, that was calculating an average using the insert function. Now, we'd also like to get Central's best quarter. So we're going to once again click on the cell where we want the answer to go. This time, we know the function we want to use is the max function. So, we're not going to use the insert function, but we're going to come up to our AutoSum, and just to the right, there is a drop-down list. And if you click on that, you can use AutoSum to also get the average, count numbers, max, and minimum. Let's click on max. And again, it selected all the value to the left, but we know now the drill. We're going to go and select the values we actually want and then press tab. And there is Central's highest. Now, to get the lowest value, we use the minimum function. This time though, we're going to try typing it in, which is actually the quickest. So I'm going to type equals M, and Excel brings up all the functions that begin with the letter M. Minimum is quite far down the list, so if I type in, that will bring it up higher. Now, to select the mean, I can either double click, or if you want to use your keyboard, press tab. On a PC, remember, you must press tab, not enter. Then again, select the values I want and press enter. So that was how we could use average, max, and mean. We don't need to type those all again. We can use our fill handle. So I'm going to select all the 3 calculations, go to my fill handle, and drag down. All copied down except for one small problem. You will notice we've lost the formatting in our total row. And that's because when we use the fill handle, it copies both the calculation and the formatting. It's not a problem though. Come to the fill options, click the drop down and choose fill without formatting. Total row restored to glory. So let's recap. We have looked at 4 functions so far. The sum function, which allows us to get the total of large ranges. The average, which will return us the average of a range. The max, which gets us the largest value in the dataset, and the mean, which returns the smallest value. There you go. Make sure you get a chance to practice with all four of these.